Okay, we may have live video now. Okay, we have live video. Okay, great. Hello, everybody. This is Shay Rippinger here of Hip the Hoopla, and I am joined here across the pond. This is, let's see here if I can get you seeing Tanya here. Tanya is in this camera here, and she's literally across the pond, like in England. Where are you at, Tanya?
I'm in York.
York.
The United Kingdom.
In the United Kingdom.
Beautiful city.
What's that?
It's a beautiful city.
It's a beautiful city, she says. So, and I'm here across the pond. So there's a pond right here. So the joke is that we're coming to you from across the two ponds, the big ocean one and the little mountain one. So what we're going to be doing today is chest hooping, and I'm here with Tanya O'Boyle, who is also from the Fab Over 40. Hi, Jean. Hoop community group, and we're going to be doing some chest hooping tips and tricks. So Tanya has allowed me to help her and also do a live so that I can help other people at the same time as well. So what we're going to do is just start with a little warm up here, and we're just going to start shifting nice and slow side to side. And what you want to make sure that you're doing, and I can see Tanya in my camera as well, so you may not be able to see her. I just had a bee fly past my head. So what we're going to do is you're working on shifting this core side to side. So you want to make sure not to drop the shoulder down, 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 but you want to shift almost like, so if you're females, you might have a bra strap. It's like somebody's pulling the bottom elastic of your bra strap side to side. So you're working on just your core, your chest here, of pulling this. It's like somebody has a string and somebody's either pulling your shoulder or your chestal area. I like making up words too, so I like being kind of silly when I teach. So you're moving side to side. Now this is I call this wet noodle, because your hands are just going to flow with this for right now. So right now we're just kind of warming up, but we're also doing what I consider the easiest movement for getting chest hooping. So you're taking this side to side, and also what I'm doing too is with my body posture, I'm nice and lifted in my spine, but I'm low because I have my knees bent a little bit, and I have my tushy tucked in and under a little bit, and the abdominal wall in. So I'm not just like hanging out and doing this way, but I'm upright but have the knees bent a little bit. And then I'm also shifting with the feet. So I'm going to try and make my feet louder. You don't have to do this, but I'm just doing this for emphasis. So when I shift to the right, I'm stepping to the right. And when I shift to the left, I'm stepping to the left. And I'm not like stepping out and out. I'm just taking little steps that my feet are right underneath my shoulders, and just stepping maybe a little bit past shoulders. So where it feels comfortable to you, but you're going to get this movement. And if you've ever been on a train before, Tanya, have you ever been on a train before?
Yes, lots. I don't drive, so
Well,
yes.
yes, there you go. So she's been on a train lots because she's in Europe. And so when you've been on a train for a while, you get off the train and you're kind of still doing this movement. It's that movement right there. You know what I'm talking about, right?
Yes.
So you're doing this kind of shifty movement, but you're keeping a nice solid beat where it's consistent. So you're beat, 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 beat. So you're not going all the way over as far as you can and all the way over, although that's really good for a warm-up exercise, is to take this and shift this all the way over. For the intent of what we're doing for chest hooping is we're going to take that and make that movement quicker. When you make the movement quicker, you have to tighten up the space that movement takes up. My camera's going to jiggle a little bit because it's a little bit windy up here in the mountains. So, and the wind just picked up a little extra. So we're taking this little beat, 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 beat. I'm going to make the feet a little bit louder. So it's kind of like a little football player exercise where you're taking, you ever see the football players do that? And they kind of like lift their knees up. I'm over exaggerating this, of course, but you're kind of doing that little movement less with the shoulders, just to get that wet noodle. Now I also call this, it's kind of looking like a chimpanzee, and I'm going to encourage you to be highly silly with this, and to bring out your inner monkey, and bring this over, and let the arms just swing like a little monkey, and if you want, make little monkey sounds. So you can whoop, 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 whoop. And be really silly with this, because I have a feeling I like to teach where you have fun. And if you're enjoying it, then you'll remember it too. So if I give you silly things to remember, then you'll actually remember this. So if you've got your your hips tucked under, you might feel this a little bit in the butt. You'll definitely be feeling this in the core. So you want to get that beat, beat, beat going. Now what I want you to try to do is to take the arms up with this and get that same chest movement going from side to side. Now keep that core going side to side. Now you can just keep your arms moving like so. And this is what we're going to try and get with the chest hooping. Now I want you to imagine that you have the hoop up on your chest, in between, like right around the shoulder, the armpit area. So in between, so lower than the chin and above the chest. So high up on the chest. So imagine that you have the hoop circling around there. And the reason why I'm having you imagine this is I want you to visualize you getting chest hooping going. So keep that beat, 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 and keep that chest moving, 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 moving. Okay, now we're going to grab the hoop. And for this, the best success that you can have is to have the largest size hoop that you have available to work with, unless you have one of those gigantic hoops that you can get 2 or 3 people in. So Tanya's got a nice big hoop, and she's got enough space. She's indoors right now. She's got enough space to have clearance with that. So what we're going to be doing is we're going to be taking and we're going to tuck the hoop in underneath the armpits there, and we're going to give it a good solid spin and try and get that beat, beat, beat going. It might go down right away. That's okay. So a couple of things that we want to have happen that are going to be tips and tricks that are going to do. So one, the size of your hoop matters. So you want to go as big as possible. If your hoop is taped on the inside with grip tape, that's really helpful because it'll stay up longer with grip tape. So size, a little bit of tape. What you're wearing really makes a difference too. I've got some comments coming in. Kelly says, I like big hoops and I cannot lie. Yes, go girl. She's quoting a song. Well, doing a parody of a quote of a song. So yes, that is so true. So you're going to be taking this right here and getting that and trying to get that. Now this is going to tighten up even more because you see that you need to get this like moving really quickly there. Yes, Tanya, yes, yeah. So even though it's going down to the waist, you still get that same movement going. It's much like, it's the same principle as waist hooping, where you get those 2 contact points, so you're either going to side or you're going front back. Same thing with the chest hooping. So we're going side. Now it's got to go a little bit quicker. Now I've got a hood on, and so the hood's getting a little caught up in that. But now the third trick, this is my favorite. It's a recovery move, but it is to turn in the direction of your hoop. So for instance, if my hoop is, if I spin it this direction, so this is to my right that I'm doing this, I'm going to turn gently to my right. So I'm going to turn with this. And when I say turning with it, just little baby steps. So you don't have to be going in a big circle all the way around. You're just in place doing little baby step in place. But I'm step, like that. So we're going to turn with that. If you hoop in the other direction, that's fine. Step. And that's going to help you get that little movement going. Now, if you want to try this as a shoulder hooping move, which means that your arms are inside the hoop, you can get that movement that we were just working on with the chest hooping. So we're working on Now, this may pop up to your neck. That is highly okay. If you have a bigger, heavier hoop, you want to be careful with that and try not to do that too much. Pardon me as I drop out of frame for a minute. Okay. And so you're going to get that wet noodle going. Wet noodle, wet noodle, wet noodle, wet noodle, wet noodle. Now on this one, it's really important to keep the arms in on this, because if you let the arms fly out, you're giving the hoop more points to rotate on. The hoop likes to rotate on one thing. It's like when you take a car on a road and you come to a fork in the road. You cannot go in both directions. Your car is only one car, so it's got to pick one path or the other. So same thing with hooping. You've got to stay centered and give the hoop one thing to rotate on. So I'm shifting, 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 shifting. And I'm turning, 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 turning. Is that feeling a little bit better, Tanya? Yeah. Yes. That's it. Uh-huh. Mm-hmm. So turn a little bit more with that. Yes, excellent. So turn, keep turning. And then, okay, so I'm noticing one thing that you're doing there. When you're turning and when this hoop starts to drop, you're leaning with it a little bit. That's going to throw the alignment completely off. So we want to stay centered. Even if the hoop drops, it's okay if the hoop drops. The hoop is going to drop. If you're never dropping your hoop, you're never trying anything new. So you want to keep this going. And even if it goes down, I'm letting it go down on purpose. Keep that movement going. Keep that turn going. And keep that visualization going that you are actually completing the move. See, I see you making progress already. Yeah. See, when you throw that one hip out, like the right hip, and it goes out. So I'm going to demonstrate what I think I saw Tanya do. And we all do this. So I do this too. So this is so if you get this out a little bit, then what happens is your hoop gets a little wonky. So we want to try and stay as centered in this as possible. Now I'm giving you a lot of tips and tricks to do. So there's a lot to remember. So what's going to happen, this is my theory of hooping, is one thing comes, three things go. Two things come, five things go. So get whatever you can in the moment and just be successful at that and realize, because you know, once you start feeling this, you know where you're like getting it right, and you know where you can improve a little bit. So awesome, Tanya. Yes. How's that feeling?
It's getting better.
Oh, good. Okay, so her expression just changed. She just went, oh, yeah, because she's totally getting it. So, so that is actually chest hooping, shoulder hooping. So chest hooping is where, this is what I usually start teaching people, because you don't have to worry about the shoulders getting it, is the chest hooping is with the arms out. Now, here's another little trick that I was thinking about, Tanya, this morning, and how to teach this too, because this can work into duck outs as well. So what you can do is you can get this going and get one arm out, and you know how you kind of get this going on the neck? So you're going to get this kind of going on the neck and where the armpit is. So it's basically a variation of what we're doing of this chest hooping, but it's a way to get the arms in and out. So what you can do is, yeah. And then if you can't, can you do neck hooping, Tanya?
Never tried it.
Okay. So what you're doing is you're just getting it a spin around the neck, and it's just like waist hooping. And so you're getting that same wet noodle going, where you're just getting this nice and gently. So we're not like really like trying to wing it around and, you know, go psycho with it in the psycho speed. So we're just trying to get a nice, as slow as you can go before it starts drooping and dropping. So what I mean by drooping is if it starts doing this little wobble like that, then that's a little too slow. We want to get it nice so that we have a pretty decent spin on this. Now, if you are using a bigger, heavier hoop, watch the neck hooping. Don't do too much of it. But what I want you to do is try and do that neck hooping, but try and stick an arm out. You're going to kind of lean over with this just a touch. So we're, you know, kind of like how if you did a side stretch and you'd be leaning over. So we're getting the hoop going across the side of the neck. So I'm going with the left side of the neck here and across here. So this is where it's going to be placed. So right here, and I'm going side to side. And one of the reasons why this is helpful is it's a really helpful way to do shoulder duck outs. Like I take my sunglasses off on this one. So if you start doing shoulder duck outs, you won't lose your hoop when you do this. Or they're also called head duck outs. But for this one, it's going to be a head duck out because I'm just ducking my head out, and then coming back in and coming in there. Now you don't have to do that right this second, but this is where you can take the chest and shoulder hooping move. So let's see if I can do this with the sweater here, of just the shoulder duck out and then coming back in. Yes, I got one. So that's a shoulder hooping duck out move. That can be, some of the places that you take chest hooping and shoulder hooping. Yes, nice, Tanya. Yes. Yeah. So make sure you keep that consistent beat around and keep turning with it too. So when you're doing this, turn with it in the direction that your hoop is going. We call that the hoop current. So if my hoop is spinning to the right, I'm spinning with it going that way. In the back. So up. So this is chest hooping when you have your hands up. Now, I also like to encourage us to have like pretty hands, pretty appendages. So if you're up here, I suppose it's still possible that, well, T-Rexing is when we do this, when we're all crunched up right here and we have everything tight. We have our shoulders lifted and we're all tight and scrunched up and our hands look like little T-Rexes. So T-Rex dinosaurs. But we want to gradually extend out. So if you're doing chest hooping, what I want you to do and try and get your hands up in the air like you just don't care. But also try and reach the fingertips to the sky, or at least take and interlace the fingers, or kind of just have them up like kind of like a little reverse ballerina. So you could either do it palms in or palms out. I kind of like doing palms out because it gives me good form and it gives me a good chest lift to be able to get that positioning. Nice, Tanya. That was beautiful. If you could just see how stunning she is right now. This is so pretty. Yes. Nice. So, and I highly encourage you to hoop in both directions. So not just to your right or to your left, but both. And what's going to happen when you do that is it's going to use both sides of your brain, because the right side of your brain controls the left side of your body and the left side of the brain controls the right side of the body. So it's really good for neural pathways, new neural pathways in the brain, and keeping active, thinking, and moving at the same time. Okay, so I just cheated and went into my second variation of chest hooping there, and that is doing a chest circle. And so I just did a little wake up in sunshine where I did the chest circle, and that's how I started chest hooping, is doing this chest circle. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to set the hoop down for right now and just give you the warm-up of how to start this, of the positioning. So what we're going to be doing, and I'm sorry for my live feed has the cameras moving a little bit, because of the wind in the mountains, but what we're going to be doing, this is really important for the posture. So we're going to take a nice deep breath in, roll the shoulders back, and then when we relax back, we're going to keep that chest lifted positioning with this. And so we're going to put our hands on our waist and just on the hips, and we're going to use this for getting a little extra distance here. So we're going to take and push the chest all the way forward, all the way over to the side, all the way to the back, and over to the other side. So whichever direction you're looking at me, it doesn't matter. So forward, side, back, other side. Forward, side, back, other side. And on this one, we're just warming up, getting the positions, and we're going as far as we can go with this. Now make sure you keep your hips in place. So Tanya and I were talking about this a bit earlier, like, do the hips move with this? Not on this. So what we're actively focusing on is just moving, just this core. This, what I'm giving you right now, is a core isolation. So if you do belly dance or want to do belly dance, this is an excellent move to get a chest circle He's still going. There we go. Just dropped out a little bit. Nice. There you go. So we're going to we're going to connect those points. So we're going to go forward, side, back, side, and we're going to continue that circle. And it's like you're drawing a pathway inside your hoop. So if you had your hoop inside, you would be trying to reach the points of your hoop. It's like that, but we're just imagining that for right now and using that full extension. Now I want you to go to the other side just so we make sure we warm up in both directions. So we go forward to this other side, back, and opposite side. So forward, side, back, other side. Forward, side, back, other side. Forward, side, back, other side. And you're really concaving over this. So when I go forward, I'm not sticking my hiney out. I am sticking my chest out on that one. And on the side, I'm going as far over as I can reach. And on the back, it's like somebody threw a big medicine ball at me, one of those big weighted balls, and went, ugh. And then you're concaving in over that to do that, and then going back over to the side. Yeah. And you want to try and keep your head in a neutral position, so you don't want to really move your head with this. You just want to have this kind of just focus on moving just the chest area, just the core. So you put the hands on the hips and move it around and around and around. There you go. Nice. So really keep the hips still. And also make sure that you're bending your knees on this one. So you're significantly bent on this one. So because if you're on straight legs on this one, you can't get around as far. So you want to keep a little bend in the legs, and then you can get that distance. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to take and connect all those points, and we're going to circle this around. Front, side, back, side, front, side, back, side, all the way around. Okay. Now we're going to go back to the first direction that we were doing, and we're going to do that circle. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to speed it up a little bit and a little bit and a little bit, and then we're going to get to chest hooping speed, which is pretty darn fast. Tanya already watched my video on this, so she knows exactly she's already laughing, going, oh yeah, it does. So, but I'm going to start you out slow. So we're going to just start doing this circle. When we do the circle slow, remember when we do nice and slow, we can do it nice and big and really get it in this delicious big stretch. Now we're going to take this and kind of double time this. So we're going to go around, around, around. And when you make it a little bit faster like we just did, we're going to take and narrow the space that we're going, because we can't cover that distance in that amount of time unless you're a super person. So, but I think generally speaking, we're all like regular humans around here. So now what we're going to do is we're going to try and make that go a little bit faster. So double time that movement. So again, this is going even a smaller little spiral. So just a little spiral. Now, if your shoulders start moving on this one around, let them flow, but try not to get it going like that. So it's not exaggerate. You're still concentrating on just this little center, your little sternum area here. Your sternum is right between your rib cage here. You're focusing on that, making it around, around, around as fast as, now go as fast as you can in that direction. So we're going round and round and round and round. And you're going to, and it's hard to talk when I do it this fast, but you're definitely going to feel this in your abdominal wall. So you're going fast, fast, fast. Now what you're doing with this chest circle by going really fast, that's the exact same movement that you can do with chest hooping. So I'm getting this circling around, 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 and you see how fast that is. So it's almost as fast as you can go. Again, it'll depend on the size hoop that you're using. Right here, I'm using a 32. It took me a long time to get to a 32 Polypro. And now I use like a little teeny tiny one. And I can get this, but again, I have to spin with this a lot to get that going. A lot. And that's a lot of core work right there. So now we're going to get spinning in the other direction. So I'm going to start you out slow again. So we're going to start with the forward, side, back, side, and do that nice big circle because we're doing it slow. Now we're going to take that a little bit faster. And we're going to tighten that circle in just a little bit, that little chest spiral. So again, we're taking as if you're doing this. So if you had like a little pencil, you're doing a little gyroscope with your sternum, with your chest. So you're doing a circle that is going like this. So like a circle like this, but we're going horizontal with it. So try and keep this as parallel to the ground as possible with the shoulders. Now we're going to take that and double time that and circle it around and circle it around, circle it around. How you doing, Tanya? I know, this will take your breath away. But it's really good. And chest hooping is one of those big activities that is, it's no small feat to do chest hooping. So it uses a lot of core strength and a lot of major muscle groups. So you're using like everything upper body. Plus, if you're moving around, you're using your lower body as well. So it's a big movement. So, you know, if you need to take a break in this, take a little break. Take a breather. Grab a sip of water. Do whatever you need to do. I forgot to bring water out with me. I'm just going to keep going with the chest circle here. Speed it up a little bit. Speed it up. Now go as fast as you can in that direction. And what's going to happen when you get this going really fast is it's going to feel completely wonky. So, and that's okay. Nice, Tanya. That's beautiful. That's beautiful. So she's got this going gorgeous. So I can see her in my other camera up here too. So excellent, excellent, excellent. Woohoo! Okay, now we're going to grab your hoop. As big as you've got available, without being too obnoxious and without, you know, being able to fit in your space. And I want you to get that circular motion going, and I want you to try and see if you can turn with this at the same time. Yes, 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 yes. And now, also I want you to move your arms all the way up so that your elbows aren't dropping down to hit the hoop. So yeah, because otherwise, if we keep our elbows down too much, then that also shrinks our body posture, and we want to get the hoop up above the sternum on this. So sternum is right about here in between your rib cage, and we want to go kind of high on this. That's the goal. It's going to slip down. That's okay. But we want to try and keep it up, tucked into that armpit area. So I'm circling this around. I'm having to circle this really fast, and I'm turning with this. If I'm going in the other direction, I'm going to do the exact same thing. I'm going to start this going. So I'm tucking this from the armpits. I'm giving it a real good solid spin here. So even if you don't get the chest hooping, you'll have it stay up for a little bit by just giving a good, nice, straight spin. So if you throw it wonky, it's going to be really hard to recover. So you want to give this a nice, straight throw, like so. So turning, 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 turning. And if it goes down, that's okay. Just hang with it in the lower position. So if it goes down to the waist is a lot less effort to, it's still effort to get going. Now, if you just need to take a break from this and you need to, like, just take a breather, just move your hoop around and even just circle around with it. And you can even just circle around holding your hoop in like a 3 o'clock and a 9 o'clock position, and just do that chest circle in a nice slow manner so that you're still getting the movement, but you're not going as fast as you need to go for the chest hooping. And then when it feels good again, then bring it back up and try it again. But if you need to take a breather, just grab your hoop and get this going around nice and slow, kind of like you're doing your own slow-mo version. So nice and slow, nice and slow, nice and slow. Or you can get that side going. So either one of those methods really works works great for chest hooping, chest and shoulder hooping. And then you can get the arms out. Now for anybody that's more advanced, if you've hung in here for that long, I'm going to give you a couple things that you can do from here. So you can get the chest hooping, you can get the arms in, get your shoulder hooping. You can of course do a one-arm duck out, one-arm shoulder duck out, which is going out and then coming back in. And then you can also get where you're taking the arms, bringing them down, bringing them up. So you can alternate them. Now again, notice that I'm turning this entire time because I want to give, the reason why I'm turning is because your hoop speed slows down, your rotation time slows down when you turn in the direction of your hoop. Now, if you want added workout benefit, as if chest hooping wasn't enough, you could totally do an anti-spin with this, which is turning in the opposite direction that your hoop is going. So if my hoop is going that way, I'm turning that way. Let's see if I can do that for a couple of seconds. Let's see. Okay, so I'm going to turn with this. Notice the speed that this goes. If I stay centered, it's going to have to go a little bit faster. And if I go anti-spin, I have to go really fast just to keep that up. And also the hoop likes skin. So if you have, I'm layered with clothing right now, so the hoop is kind of like falling off my shirt, my sweater here. But if I have bare shoulders especially, or like a bikini top, I actually do have a bikini top underneath this, but I'm just going to, just for all intents and purposes now, just hang with what most of us have, it's, you know, regular clothes on. If you're a guy, you can go, you know, shirts and skins all the time, and it's no big deal. But for us women, we generally have to keep more of our clothes on. So you can take the arms in and out. You can take them both in, both down, both up. You can take them down one at a time. And then you can add brakes and paddles to this as well. And then you can also take this on an angle. And so if you want to take this on an angle, a nice easy way to do this is just take a little bend, make sure that you keep the back straight, that you're not curled over, and get that little bounce in there for the angle hooping. Then you can also take and pop in a shoulder, pop out the other shoulder, and get the hoop going on the right shoulder or the left shoulder. And this will help with your duck outs with going, so if I have my right shoulder up here, I can do a right duck out. If I pop the left shoulder in, let's see if I could do it with this one without having bare shoulders. Oh, almost. That's a fun part about doing the shoulder duck outs. So that's why I did the one arm duck out, because if I do that so my hoop is spinning to the right, and I'm going to be doing a left duck out. I have to keep, so this has to, so basically it's coming right around here. There we go. Get that going, get that going, get that going. And ducking out, and then coming back in. So, not the easiest thing to do, but if you want to challenge yourself with some more intermediate and advanced moves, these are some ideas to do with the chest hooping. How are you feeling with that, Tanya? It's going.
It's much better than it was.
Yes, yes, yes. See, I knew I could get you up and going pretty quick. So, and she's doing exactly everything that I'm telling her. So, everything that I'm telling you guys. So when you do it, it actually works, because I'm actually watching her get all of this. Pardon me for just a moment while I drop my camera. So, all right, so back in. So, again, you can add these brakes and paddles with it. Brakes are when you change the direction of your hoop. So, and this is really nice and easy to do. So, Tanya, try this with your hoop, and you're going to try and just toss it over to the other side and grab. So, you can take and grab with both hands. So, you're just doing a little one rotation and then catching it, one rotation and catching it. So, you can, or you can do this, you can even, I actually like teaching this in class, doing it on an angle. So I'm leaning over forward a little bit, and I've got this, and I'm going to basically cradle the hoop like a baby. So I'm going to cradle with the left hand, and I'm going to pass it to the right and bring it up. And then I'm going to cradle with the right hand and bring it to the left hand and cradle it up. So this is basically a nice slow-mo version of a break on an angle with chest hooping. I know that's a mouthful. Yeah, so you want to try and cradle the hoop in your arm, in the crux of your elbow. So it doesn't even matter what size hoop that you have. So let's say if I have a big hoop, I'm going to be a little bit bigger on this, but I'm going to take this, and as I come here, I'm going to bring this down, and this is going to be pretty close to my hand is going to be pretty close to my chest, so that I can hand off to the other hand. And you're going to have the hoop in almost a vertical plane. So it's not going to be horizontal, but it's going to be almost vertical. It's going to be slightly angled depending on how far over you're leaning. So it's going to be looking like so, and I'm just going to cradle, cradle, cradle. So I'm just going in slow-mo right now. And again, you don't have to do this move, but this is where you can take this move of getting breaks in of an angle. Whoops. And that can happen right there. So if your hoop goes a little wonky, so what we're trying to do is we're trying to get I was forgetting my science word on this. There's a science word for this that I use to describe this motion of keeping the movement going. So, and you can get a good toss on this and get this circling around and then get it. So basically on this, what I'm trying to get you to do is do a hold, a catch, and a throw, and a catch. So I'm catching with the other hand, I'm grabbing and throwing. So I'm going to basically throw from one hand to the other. Throw, throw, throw on that. So Kelly says on the comments, any special motion with the brakes? Excellent question, Kelly. And then she said she struggles with brakes. Hoop always flies up or drops down. Yes. So, and that's definitely going to happen when you're first starting brakes, because you're basically sending, you're trying to stop a moving object and send it in the other direction. So if you just did a brake where you just, okay, I'm trying to do how we normally start with brakes, and you're moving this and trying to do not the tricks that work. But what, okay, I'm going to give you the tricks that work. But if you're basically, like if somebody is throwing a softball at you, if somebody throws this at you and you just hold your hand out, it's just going to pop out like that, right? So, but if somebody throws a softball or hoop, in this case, at you, so I'm throwing this hoop, and I'm going to take this motion, and I'm going to absorb that motion and go with that movement. So we're going to be doing the same thing with the brakes, and I'm going to be twisting with this. So I'm handing the hoop off to the other side to start with, just to get the basic motion. And to keep your hoop nice and straight, you want to keep this in the crook of your arm so that you have nice control over this. So this, I call this the cradle rocking, like a little baby. And so you're going to just nice and gently cradle rock the hoop. So just get one arm going so you can just feel the control of the hoop. And you're just kind of coming across, think of this like a golf swing. So you're going to kind of turn your hip with this a little bit. I'm over exaggerating this a little bit just to get the emphasis of the move. So Tanya, what you're going to do is, yeah, you have this hoop over here, and then bend that elbow. Yes, and then keep that in the elbow and really wrap that hand around so you have control of the hoop. The hand is not going to be as far on the inside. It's going to be a little on the outside so that you can control the hoop. So this is, I don't know if you can see where my hand is here, but I'm kind of like on the outside of the hoop like that. Now when I'm holding it like that, it kind of hurts. It's straining my hand when I'm going slow with that. So if that's happening to you, that's okay. Just do this just a little bit just to get the point of this. But it's like you're cradle rocking a baby. You want to be kind of nice and gentle with this and cradle rock and keep this controlled in this circle so that the hoop isn't dropping down. If the you know, I say there's no wrong moves in hooping. This is a great move in hooping, but it's just a different move than we're working on. So we want to try and keep this cradle. Yeah. So Tanya, stay and keep the hips planted and just rock the upper part of the body on this. Yeah. And really twist that chest. So lean over just a touch with this. So I'm leaning over and yeah, there you go. So, and I'm just turning with this so you can see the angle that I'm going with this. So I'm just twisting from just the upper part of the body. So I'm not, so keep the hips a little bit more in place and just twist. Mainly the hand is leading, the shoulder and the arm are coming, and just about there. And as I go there, Then I can hand off from here and continue that movement up a little bit. And you can raise that arm up. And then I'm bringing this down like so. Yeah. So, okay, I just noticed something here. So you don't want to have the hoop resting on your neck. The hoop is going to have all this air space up here. You're going to have the hoop close to your chest down here. So yes, Tanya. So when you're bringing this down, cradle that in your arm. So yeah, exactly. And then keep that nice and low so that it shouldn't be resting on the back of your head at all. Yes, exactly. And then you grab it with the other hand right in front of you. Yeah, on the inside. Yep, exactly. So you're just mirroring the grip and coming out to the side. But see how I have all that air space up in the hoop? So you're twisting with this. And this is just a beginning part of how to start with a vertical horizontal break. Yeah. So what we're doing is we're just gently passing the hoop from one hand to the other to start with. And you're making sure that you're staying in, so the hoop is doing this move right here at whatever angle you're at. So if I'm here, then the hoop is exactly perpendicular to me. So the hoop is horizontal, I'm completely vertical. If I lean over slightly, I'm still going to be at an x-axis, at a cross axis. So my hoop is one thing. So my hoop is this moving arm, and my body is this arm. So whichever way you go, the hoop has to go and mimic that angle with you. Okay, hopefully that helps, and hopefully that makes sense. It's getting a little techie. But then you're going to take this and go to a little bit of a throw. So you're just throwing from hand to hand, but you're still kind of doing this at the center. Now, the thing that Kelly was asking before, let's see here, that makes a huge difference. Thank you. My arm positioning was messing me up. Yes. So that can really happen very easily. So when you're getting this, now the next thing you want to do is to angle with this a little bit and really twist with this. So the breaks, you're taking that moving object and you're moving with it before you send it back in the other direction. That is going to be really key to the success of getting your breaks, so they're not going and they're knocking your hoop out of orbit. So you want to keep this nice and rhythmic and balanced as well. So right now I'm doing, there's several different, there's a ton of different breaks you can do. I'm just getting you into the intro of it. So I'm starting this out as a grip break, which means I'm actually taking my hand on the hoop and I'm gripping the hoop with my hand. So eventually you'll get to where you're doing a touch break or a pinch break. So this is a pinch break because I'm pinching the hoop within the hand. So there's a ton of ways that you can do breaks, and then you can eventually stick paddles in there too. Now, Baxter just did a really awesome workshop on this on his channel about breaks and paddles and broke this down really well. If you guys are interested, I can work on breaks and paddles with you a little bit more. But again, this is what you can do with chest hooping and shoulder hooping as well. So this is shoulder hooping. This is like, and the nice thing, when you throw in breaks, you can do baby shoulder hooping. What I mean by that is you don't actually have to have all the techniques to keep the hoop up like this, because you're tossing from side to side with, so I don't have to know any of those other things that I just taught you. So you don't actually have to do any of those things. So you don't have to do the wet noodle, wet noodle, wet noodle, wet noodle, or the chest circle, chest circle, chest circle. You can just get this and toss it. Seriously, it's basically a toss from side to side. Tossing, tossing, tossing. Now, part of the key of this, of those breaks, is to keep the elbows in and down, just to start with. You can definitely move them in. Baxter was demonstrating how you could start moving them out and getting your paddles in. But for right now, keep centered, because the hoop likes rotating on the one object. So you're taking and where I'm catching the break is really important. So when I'm tossing from this side, I'm going over, 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 and again, keeping this close to the chest in the front, and then catching it on the other side. But I'm twisting with this, and then sending it back, which is also very key as well. So I'm nice, small movement. Keep the abdominal wall in, keep nice and lifted in the spine. Nice, Tanya. I see that. You're totally getting it. Yeah. Nice, nice, nice. Are you feeling better with that?
Yeah.
Good, good, good. Excellent, excellent, excellent. So we're getting this twist going. Twist, 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 twist. And if you want, you can, so I'm just doing it from side to side, one, and it's just basically my hoop is doing half rotation before I catch it. But you could do a full rotation, catch it. Full rotation, catch it. Actually, it's going around about a rotation and a half. So rotate, 1.5. 1 and 2. 1 and 2. 1 and 2. So you can do the rhythm like that, or you can just go side to side, 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 side. You're hearing that beat go because it's hitting my zipper pole here, pardon me. So, nice, Tanya. So really twist with this upper body, twist, twist, twist. And keep the hands in small and tight. Yes, nice, nice, nice. Yeah. So when you keep those hands in, you can really grab, and you're grabbing pretty, and again, this is just the variation that I'm showing you right now. You're grabbing pretty close to the chest. Now again, if you want to do open-handed with these, you can totally do that. And then you can start getting two-handed breaks, which is an insanely, that one's way more challenging. I just learned that the other day, and I was like, oh, I totally didn't know that one. So that's a fun one to do as well. So getting that shoulder hooping, getting the chest hooping. So all those points that we covered, doing the wet noodle variation with just taking the core, moving it side to side, keeping the arms out, getting the shoulders in, doing that side to side, 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 and getting the feet with it, and turning with this, using a big enough hoop. And then doing the chest rotation is the other way to do the shoulders. So you can get that tiny chest rotation. We start out by doing this nice and big, and then we tighten this and make it faster and smaller. And then we make it insanely fast as you can go. And that's about where your circle needs to be. Keep turning with this. Keep your feet in on those turns. Oh, Tanya, you're looking fabulous, darling. Yes. So if you guys are tuning in right now and watching this video from this point, I have another phone right here, and so I've got a camera. I'm working with somebody one-on-one, but I'm doing this video here so that you can see what I'm doing, and that multiple people can get the benefit of getting these tips and tricks. So, and one of the best ways to get out and start learning this is to teach it to somebody else. So if you teach it to somebody else, you have to get it in your own brain and body first. So these tips and tricks that I'm teaching you are really helpful. By the way, I'm going to have a webinar, a free webinar on my favorite learning tips, so that you can not only, like, you've spent this time with me learning, and I want you to continue knowing this information and working with it and having it be in your toolbox. And so I'm going to be going over some tips and tricks of how to keep that information, like, in the brain and in the body. So you build up muscle memory, and you add to these skills and continue to improve with them. So not only maintain, but improve as well. Because a lot of times, you know, it's like, okay, great, I got this. I'm notorious for this. I'll go to a workshop. I'll pay good money to go to a workshop. I'll spend the time. I'll go learn it. And then I don't practice it later. And then I know that I've learned these phenomenal new tricks by these amazing hoopers from all over the world. And I don't have them in my toolbox because I didn't spend time practicing them. So you definitely want to spend time doing this. And again, like, if you needed to take a break, take the hoop, just move around a little bit, go a little bit slower, and just take a little moment, grab a little sip of water, and then go back to what we were doing when it feels comfortable to you. You know your body best. So let me give you a quick tip about how to get the hoop from the waist up to the chest. And that there's my 3 recovery methods. The 3 recovery methods that I learned that I keep propagating is, one is to speed up with your spinning. The second thing, and these are recovery methods if the hoop starts dropping. The second one is a duck in. So the first one is a speed up. So if it starts going down, if you speed this up, this is going to go back up. So if it's on the hips and I speed this up, it's going to go up to the chest. Second one is a duck in. So I duck the body down and then bring it back up, do a little speed wind up on that. That's going to help that go. And then the third one is the one that we've already been doing throughout this entire process here, is turning in the direction that your hoop is turning with, that your hoop is spinning in, rotating in. So the current that you're going, that's the direction that you're turning. So I just call current the direction that your hoop is spinning. A lot of people call current the way that you hoop. So like if you hoop to the right, they call that your current. If you hoop to the left, that's your current. I actually hoop in both currents, and I highly recommend that because it helps doing that. Now, if you want to get the hoop coming up the body to the chest, then you're going to take all 3 of those methodologies, throw them all together, and you're going to be working the chest, working the hoop back up to the chest. I'm going to demonstrate here. Again, the phone's moving a little bit because it's a little windy in the mountains here. But we're going to start, and we're going to get this sped up a little bit. I'm going to do a duck in and keep turning with this. And then I'm going to pop that in. That duck in really helps because what's happening is the hoop is here. I'm ducking in, and so I'm kind of cheating the hoop up, and then it's going to go in and up a little bit just from doing that. So again, I'm using, now when you practice this a lot, all you need is like maybe 1 of those methods, maybe 2 of those methods. But when you're first starting out, all 3 of those methods will really help you be able to move the hoop up and down the body. We never have to worry about the hoop moving down the body. That's gravity. All you have to do is slow down, then the hoop goes down. But if you speed up, the hoop comes back up. So speed, turning, and the duck in. And then you can get that popped back up on the chest. Now, if you're using shoulders, then you have, pardon me, a little extra tool. If you have the arms in, and you've got now there's a whole different series that I do with this of getting the arms in. But let's say you already know this and you already can get the arms in, and you can do this. Now, you can wiggle the shoulders up and up and up, and that will help get the hoop spinning from the waist area to the shoulder area. Again, you have to keep the arms plastered to the body, because if you have them out, this is what happens. It goes down. I mean, okay, I was just doing a cool trick that Baxter was doing where there is, but I'm getting a paddle in there. That's an extra little thing. But you want to keep getting this up and up and up. So I'm turning with this, and I'm wiggling the shoulders up and up. And what's happening is the hoop is laddering up the shoulders to get to the higher chest area that you want it to go. So if I'm hooping down here, I've already gotten my arms in. There's a little tip and technique to get to that. But I'm ducking in a little bit, but I'm also getting the shoulders moving to keep the hoop up. So those are some techniques that I use to help get the hoop up. And again, you don't have to worry about getting the hoop down. It'll naturally go down very easily. All I have to do is stop moving. Magic, the hoop goes down. It's like, we should go to parties and do that as a magic trick for the kids. Going, you want to see the hoop go down? Watch, watch, watch. It's going down on its own. I also love little kids because they always run up to me and go, you know what I can do with the hoop? And they do this, and they're like, I can do this with the hoop. And you know, you have to give them props and credit for that, because that's a cool trick. You just have to make sure they're not doing that with a gigantic hoop, and they're not like ruining their little necks there. So, but again, you can use this as a technique, getting the shoulders in there for the shoulder duck outs. And this is also good when you're going around with this. Again, this is going to be a more advanced trick where you get a shoulder duck out. Let's see if I can get this. And you can get that going around all the way over and then pop that back on the same shoulder. An insane trick that you have to have timing and all kinds of things for. But it's a fun trick. Let's see if I can get it. So I've got that right shoulder popped up, around, pretty much, almost. And then you have to continue moving, because if you stop, like I just did, then the hoop goes down. But you get the idea of getting these more advanced tricks when you get the shoulder hooping. So again, you can get those breaks in there. Oh, Tanya, that is magnificent. Wow, look at you, girl. So she totally got chest hooping in this session. So she was, I think it's fair to say you were having a pretty tough time with that before, and now you've got it. Yes, she's totally out of breath too. So, but I don't think she's taken much of a break either. So, so you want to, so when you are using a bigger, heavier hoop, it's going to take a lot more out of you. But a bigger, heavier hoop is going to be more helpful because you're going to have a slower rotation time. So you're going to get chest hooping a lot easier. So again, I'm using, this is a 32-inch Polypro hoop. So light. When I first started hooping, this spent a lot of time on the ground. This is an old hoop now, because I've been hooping for a lot of years, since 2008. Well over a decade. Let's see here, I'm almost, with my business, almost a decade. So, but hooping for a bunch of years, 12 years, something like that, however much the math is. And then, Josanne Jackson, I hope I'm pronouncing your name right, said, great advice, Shay. This will be really helpful for lots of us. I'm sure, thanks. What was that, Tanya?
We met at a hooping convention. She's fantastic.
Oh, very good. So what Tanya just said, Tanya's in the UK. She's on my phone right here. So she's, let's see here if I can show you. Tanya's right here hooping with me. So, and she just said that Josanne, she met her at a convention just recently. So I think I saw pictures of that, and that was so cool. It's so nice when we get to meet our online hoop buddies. So that's cool. And it's nice when we can even meet like this. What's that?
Your tips and advice came in very handy.
Oh, good. I'm glad. So thank you so much. So what she just said is my hooping tips and advice came in very handy. But she said it with a really cool British accent, so it sounded way better. Quite lovely. She's across the pond, and I'm by the pond. So there's a pond here. I'm going to move the phone. So we have a pond that I'm hooping by over here. And Josanne said, hi, Tanya. Working the communications with both here. And then, Tanya is across the pond, meaning across the, we're many countries away from each other. But we're all connected via the sky and the earth and all that kind of good stuff. And our hearts and our big plastic circles. So this is the thing that unites us all.
It definitely is in this time of difficulty.
Yeah, right. Well, and I like to try and keep it positive and try and, give you something happy, try and smile a lot. So if you can, when you remember trying to smile when you're hooping, bring joy to this circle. And, even if you need to use, so for a lot of us, the hoop is meditative. The hoop can be whatever you want it to be. It can be meditative. It could be great exercise. It could be a way to get your frustrations out. I call it getting your yah-yahs out. So whatever that is for you is lovely, whatever it is. And on any given day, it could be different as well. So whatever it is quite lovely. So here I'm doing the chest circle, the chest hooping with a barrel roll. So I'm doing vertical and adding a barrel roll in it. So I'm turning with this. So that's,
wow.
We'll save that one for another day. But just suffice it to say that when you're getting this, you're doing your turns in it. So how to practice that is exactly what we're doing is we're getting, so when you start adjusting your angle, that's when you get angle hooping. So, and when I say adjusting your angle, it's your body posture in relation to your hoop. So the body, again, likes the perpendicular. So this arm represents my body, and this arm represents the hoop. So the hoop always wants to be at a perpendicular. So if you adjust the body on an angle, the hoop needs to be going with it accordingly, however you go. And that could be waist hooping. So here I'm just going horizontal. If I throw a hip up, now I've got an angle. Angle, angle, angle. And same thing with shoulder hooping. I'm angling with it. So that way, if you start throwing your body out of alignment, know that you can do this on purpose and that it's a thing. So getting your angle hooping, you know, if you know that you're doing it, that's great. So if you're trying to get waist hooping and you want to get it horizontal, but it keeps doing that, that's okay. Notice, and I'm over exaggerating this, notice that the hip is going up, but the hoop wants to be on the perpendicular. So I've angled my body extremely like this, and the hoop's going on the perpendicular. Same thing here, same thing here. So, and the same thing with the shoulder hooping with that barrel roll. And going in both directions. So, again, there's just some advanced things that you can do with the chest hooping, with the shoulder hooping, and that you can do. Hi, Rayanne. Nice to see you. I'm so looking forward to working with Rayanne here pretty quick here, too. I have something exciting in store for you guys. So again, you can get those shoulders in, pop a shoulder up. And this is just a good kind of, I hate to use the word drill because a drill doesn't sound very fun, but it's a thing that you can do to help practice a move, which I think technically is a drill, but I like it to be a little bit more fun than that. But moving those shoulders in and out, and that will help you get the principles of your chest hooping too. Yeah, I saw you got glimmers of that. Yeah. So just pop a, and then watch throwing those hips out. So if you throw the hips out while you're chest hooping, that's going to throw your body posture off. And so we really want to, the chest and the shoulder hooping, we want to really just concentrate on moving this core action here. So.
This is the best I've done ever.
What's that?
It's the best I've done ever.
Oh, okay. Very good. Thank you. She's like, this is the best. I almost got that. Something ever. Help ever, maybe.
It's the best I've done it, been able to do it ever.
Okay, very good.
I've been a bit busy now.
Yes, and we're both out of breath. So if you've hung with us this entire time, awesome for you. Thank you very much for doing that. So to my Fab Over 40 people, friends, I'm going to sign off now. Again, I'm going to be doing a tutorial here, or a webinar, a pop-up webinar coming up about how to learn. And if you can't catch the live, that's okay. You can catch the replay. And I'll have some information up on that if you're interested in doing that, and it's completely free. And it'll give you some more training tips of how to learn these things and how to keep them in your toolbox. So as we're taking a nice breath. So let's do a little tiny bit of a cool down here so we don't just go and sit on the couch after this. So just take a nice deep breath in, roll the shoulders back, inhale it in, exhale it, roll the shoulders back, inhale it in, roll the shoulders back, and then one more time. Inhale it in, exhale, roll the shoulders back. Now we're going to take and alternate out the shoulders. And we're just going it to the back to begin with. Try and keep the head in alignment in kind of a neutral position. Keep the body nice and lifted like you have, like a little dancer posture, like you have a little string, like you're a little puppet and somebody's bringing that string and pulling it nice and tight up. And so that is your spine that you're bringing up nice and lifted. So let's take this and bring the elbows with this. And take it with the arms, nice and big. And we're just gently, and as we start taking this bigger, we're going to take this a little bit slower. We don't need to take this at a really fast pace. We're just taking it nice and slow. And then now we're going to reverse the position of this. We're going to swim it forward with the arms, nice and big and slow. Nice and big and slow. And then we're going to start taking it, bending the arms a little bit, bring it more into the elbows. And then we're going to bring it back to the shoulders, where we're taking the shoulders, alternating them and circling them forward, keeping the abdominal wall in. So still doing a nice big shoulder roll, forward, forward, forward. When you do the forward ones, they feel a little awkward sometimes, at least they do on me. And then we're going to just take it nice and small, 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 small. And then just shake it out, shake it out, shake it out, shake it out. So you could do a fancy shimmy, or you could just shake it out like a little kid, like just wiggle it all out. And then give a little shoulder shimmy here. Hopefully we'll have good bra support on right now. And then get a little hips in there. So, because generally speaking, a lot of times what we do is, especially when we're learning something, is we tend to tighten up the very thing we need to relax. As we feel more confident and better with it, we start to relax those areas, and that's when the move starts coming towards us and it starts coming within our grasp a lot easier. So just nice and gentle, just sway it out. Now you're just the breeze. You're like the wind. Like a little feather in the wind. I like what you were doing. So I'm going to steal what Tanya was doing right here. And she's taking and she's swaying both arms with this, which I really love. So swaying with both arms. And take a nice inhale as you come up, and then exhale as you come down. Inhale, and then exhale. So inhale through the nose, and then exhale through the mouth. Inhale through the nose, and exhale through the mouth. And I'm going to take this and make them into a Tai Chi move. So we're going to take this across the body. Inhale it in, and then sway it out in the other direction. Exhale it out. Inhale it in, and exhale it out. Inhale it in, and exhale it out. And we're going to switch the directions of that. So we're going to inhale it in, and then exhale it out. Did I get the right direction? Exhale it out that way. Inhale it in, and exhale it out. Whichever direction you didn't work, go that way. And if you get confused on the sides, don't worry about it. Just breathe, stretch, reach, go nice and slow, be nice and gentle on your body. And then now I want you to just turn this into a modern dance movement where we're just free-flowing with this and kind of just swaying with the wind. You might hear the wind on this video, so you could just sway with the audio. So however this feels good to you, you can turn with this if you like. Whatever feels good on your body right now. We're just bringing all that chest hooping energy that we just did, which was a lot, and we're just bringing it in. Now we're going to take the arms out and then wrap them around, and then reach out, twist, and wrap them around. We're just going nice and slow with this. Out, twist, wrap them around, and then bending my knees with this, and wrap them around. Reach out, extend out, take up as much space as you can, and then wrap and come in close. Open it up, and then twist it and close it like petals of a flower. You're opening it up to sunshine and then closing it off as the moon comes out. Opening it up to sunshine, closing it as the moon comes out. And just wiggle the fingers, wiggle the toes, rotate the feet and the ankles out. Just take another couple deep breaths in. Okay, so hopefully I've cooled you guys down a little bit too, so we wanted to warm you up, get y'all moving, and cool you down, so hopefully you enjoyed that. Okay, thank you so much, Tanya, for letting me do this live at the same time. You rocked so much. And then people always, I have a musician friend of mine that says, you know that this doesn't mean rock and roll, right? And I'm like, I know, it actually means I love you in sign language. So it's my version of rock and roll, and I love you. So you guys have a great day. Thank you so much for joining. And, you know, if you want to share this video, that's fine. It'll be up on the Fab 40 group. And I'm actually going to take this and put this up on my Hip to Hoopla YouTube channel as well, so that you can access it from wherever and you don't have to find it in the feed. So thank you guys so much for being here. Rock on. Peace out. Layla, you want to come say hi? I was going to try and get the doggy in on this. there's the doggy. So she's so cute, laying down. So, and there's the doggy, Tanya. So you can see the doggy there. So anyway, all right. Thank you guys for watching. I really appreciate you being here. And yes, this recording will be available. So if you missed it live, that's totally okay. You can catch this and rewind any part of it that you need and comment and all that kind of stuff. And again, I'll put a link to the YouTube page. So thank you so much for being here. Tanya, I'm going to turn off the live feed and then I'll stay here with you. Bye, everybody in the